Welcome back to the podcast.
Hi everyone, let's learn some English.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my English channel where we make speaking English simple and enjoyable. I'm really happy to be here with you today, but I have to say my voice sounds a little different right now. You might be wondering if I'm okay. Well, I actually have a bit of a cold. My nose feels stuffy and my throat is sore. Not great, but honestly, this is perfect timing for today's topic. Today, we're going to learn how to talk about being sick in English. And yes, I'm a very good example today. Everyone gets sick sometimes, and that's completely normal, even though it can feel stressful in another language. When you're learning English, talking about feeling unwell can be scary. Maybe you need to see a doctor, call your workplace, or tell your teacher you can't come to class. These situations are important, and the right words really matter. Don't worry, though. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident talking about health and sickness in English. You'll learn simple, practical phrases you can use in real life. Before we begin, I have a small request. If you enjoy learning with us, please subscribe to Everyday English Academy. Click the like button and share this episode with anyone who's studying English. Learning together really does make things easier. Now let's start with the basics. When you don't feel good, the simplest thing you can say is, "I don't feel well." This phrase is very common and easy to remember. You can use it with friends, family, your boss, or anyone else. If you want to be more specific, you can say, "I feel," and add a word that describes the problem. For example, I feel sick, I feel terrible, or I feel awful. These are all natural and commonly used expressions. You can also say, "I have," followed by the illness or symptom. For example, I have a cold, I have the flu, I have a headache, or I have a fever. This structure is very clear and very useful. When a part of your body hurts, you can say, "My head hurts," or "My stomach hurts." You can also use words like headache, stomachache, toothache, or backache. Both ways are correct and commonly used. For the throat, you can say, "My throat hurts," or "I have a sore throat." Sore means painful and uncomfortable. We also use sore with other body parts like sore muscles, sore eyes, or sore feet after walking a long time. So far, we've learned phrases like, "I don't feel well," "I have a cold," "My throat hurts," and "I have a headache." These are very useful. Now, let's think about what happens when you go to the doctor and what the doctor usually asks you. The doctor often asks questions like, "What's wrong?" or "What seems to be the problem?" These are very common. Then you explain your symptoms. Symptoms are the signs that you are sick, the things your body feels. For example, a fever is a symptom. A cough is a symptom. Sneezing, coughing, pain, and fever are all symptoms. When the doctor asks about your symptoms, you describe how you feel, like saying, "I have a cough and a runny nose." A runny nose means your nose is producing a lot of liquid, almost like water. It's a funny image, but it makes sense. English has many interesting expressions. If your nose is blocked and you can't breathe well, that's called a stuffy nose. When you have a cold, you might have a runny nose, a stuffy nose, a sore throat, and a cough. You might also sneeze a lot. To sneeze means air suddenly comes out of your nose. When someone sneezes, we usually say, "Bless you." That's a polite and automatic phrase in English. Now let's talk about more serious illnesses. A fever is when your body temperature is too high and you feel very hot. You can check your temperature using a thermometer. A normal body temperature is about 37 degrees Celsius, or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's higher than that, you have a fever. When you have a fever, it's important to rest and drink water. Another uncomfortable problem is a stomach ache, which is when your stomach hurts. Sometimes a stomach ache comes with nausea. Nausea is when you feel like you might vomit. You can say, "I feel nauseous." If it gets worse, you might throw up or vomit. Those mean the same thing. Now let's talk about missing work or school because you're sick. This is very important, and you need to call and explain politely. You can say, "I'm not feeling well today, so I won't be able to come in," or "I'm sick today and need to take a sick day." A sick day is when you stay home from work because you're ill. If someone asks what's wrong, you don't need to give every detail. You can simply say, "I have a bad cold," or "I have the flu." That's enough information. Now let's talk about going to the pharmacy, also called a drugstore in American English. At the pharmacy, you can say, I need something for a cough or I need something for a sore throat. This phrase is very useful and works for many symptoms, including allergies. The pharmacist who is the medicine expert there can help you choose the right product. Even if you don't see a doctor, the pharmacist can give advice. They might recommend aspirin, cough syrup, or throat lozenges. Throat lozenges are small candies that help your throat feel better. They taste like medicine, but they really help. Now, what if a friend sees you and asks, "Are you okay?" or says, "You don't look well?" You can be honest and say, "I'm not feeling great," or use the expression, "I'm under the weather." Under the weather means you're slightly sick, not terrible, but not well either. It's a gentle and natural way to answer when someone asks how you're feeling. This expression is very common in everyday English. When you start to feel better, you can say, "I'm feeling better," or "I'm on the mend." On the mend means you're recovering slowly. And when you're completely healthy again, you can say, "I'm all better now," or "I'm back to normal." Let's practice a short situation. Imagine calling in sick to work. You can say, "I'm not feeling well today. I have a bad cold and I don't think I should come to the office." This sounds polite, clear, and responsible. If someone responds kindly and tells you to rest, you can thank them and say you'll keep them updated. See, this kind of conversation isn't hard. You just need the right phrases, and now you have them. Let's quickly review key vocabulary. 1. I don't feel well. 2. I have a cold, the flu, or a headache. 3. My throat hurts, or any body part plus hurts. 4. Symptoms like fever, cough, runny nose, and stuffy nose. 5. I'm under the weather for when you're slightly sick. 6. I need something for when you're at the pharmacy. 7. I'm feeling better, or I'm on the mend when you're recovering. These are essential phrases for talking about health. Another important skill is giving advice. When someone is sick, you can say, "You should rest," "You should drink lots of water," or "You should see a doctor." Should is a polite and gentle way to give advice. For stronger advice, you can use need to, like, "You need to see a doctor." And to show care, you can say, "I hope you feel better soon." "Take care of yourself," or simply, "Get well soon." These phrases show kindness and support. Not every illness requires a doctor, but some do. If you have a high fever for several days, you should see a doctor. If you have severe pain, you should definitely see a doctor. And if you're unsure, it's always better to be safe and get medical advice. Here's a small cultural tip. In English-speaking countries, people usually don't give too many details about being sick. We keep it brief and polite. You don't need to describe every symptom unless you're talking to a doctor. Your doctor needs all the details, but your coworker doesn't. Keep it simple and professional. Now I think we've covered a lot today. You now have a complete toolkit for talking about sickness in English in real-life situations. You can describe symptoms, call in sick to work, go to a pharmacy, talk to a doctor, and show sympathy when your friends feel unwell. That's everything you need. And honestly, it might be time for me to rest my voice now. I've been talking for a long time with a sore throat. Tea with honey is perfect for that. Honey is very soothing. Before my voice disappears, let's give you a little homework. Don't worry, it's fun and easy. We want you to write a comment about a time you were sick. You can write something simple like, "Last week I had a cold," or "Yesterday I had a headache." Try to use 1 or 2 phrases from today's lesson. This is great practice, and we love reading your comments. We really do read all of them. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to my English channel, click the like button, and share this episode with friends who are learning English. Maybe they're sick right now. Learning English is often better with friends. Now it's time for me to rest. Thank you so much for being here today. You are all doing an amazing job, so keep practicing and don't give up. Even native speakers get sick and don't feel like talking sometimes. That's completely normal. Be kind to yourself. Learning a language takes time, but with small steps every day, you will become more confident. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to communicate. Even if you make mistakes, people will understand you. The most important thing is to try. We believe in you and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay healthy. And if you do get sick now, you know what to say. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone, and happy learning.